But overall, it's a very minimal UI, but it's perfect the way it is. More or less, for one criticism, that's just the sound and visibility meter. Should be near the health or stamina meter, or vice versa. No, actually, sound and visibility should be near health. Bottom left. It says constant bouncing between the two. I mean, I'm just nitpicking now. I mean, it's the only thing I could find wrong with the UI. I love it. It's very clean. You can see what you're doing. If they incorporate, various HUD options, the ability to scale it, rescale it, stuff like that, some user input would be really, really cool. But tops the hammer point again. Loving the UI, loving everything so far. So moving on to one of the most unique features in this genre of gaming, the ability to become infected. A host of problems for players to overcome. No longer can we simply run through a town, take a few hits, jump a fence and lose a lot of zombies like we did and still do in DayZ. We have to plan, respond, and act when situations arrive, and with the introduction of the quick slots, we can really do that quite effectively now. The threat of becoming infected and always having a need for the cure is just another thing in a long list of items we'll have to procure to survive in the War Z. So, how is the cure manufactured? Well, exact details haven't been released, but I can tell you, we hunt zombies. Specifically, stem cell carrying zombies. Executive producer Sergei Titov, I hope it's Titov, I'm just going to call him Sergei for now, in an interview discussed the stem cell carrying zombies in some detail. This is a quote. He said, they're pretty special to me and we're going to uncover more about them in the coming weeks, but let's just say for now that they hold a key to what happened to the world. More importantly for the player though, they hold the key to the cure for the virus that nearly destroyed civilization. Visually, they'll look very different from other infected. They're much more aggressive, fast, and agile. They're rare, they hunt only at night, so the best place to find them will be the larger cities at night time. Gameplay-wise, you can hunt them down, kill them, and then extract their stem cells, which can then be used to create an antivirus for the zombie virus. This so-called vaccine is used to heal you in case you were bitten during a zombie attack. So, going out on a branch here, I think you could assume that the infection isn't a permanent plague on the player. If you do happen to become infected, this doesn't negate the fact that it is a very large threat and stem cells would be nifty to have on hand. This opens the door to massive player PvP in the world. You can see these zombies being hard-won prizes, not only in actually killing the zombie itself, but also fighting off other players. I myself have thought about starting a black market thing, where players exchange items for stem cells to create a cure. You can see whole operations emerge dedicated to this single feature. Heck, you can even see settlements built around this feature, where the cure is on hand, a player-run settlement heavily defended and enforced. It's just shaping it up to be a sandbox game of epic, and I mean epic, proportions. You'll also probably see a story element coming in from these zombies. As Sergei did say, you'll find that these zombies hold the key to what happened to the world. So you can probably see a little story-driven element thing kind of popping in there. But continuing on, this photo shows the actual antivirus in a player's inventory with a basic description and also showing the inventory itself. Pretty neat, very clean, not fussy, I like it. You can also see some zombie repellent in the inventory, which is just awesome, but also the implementation of weight limits when it comes to carrying items. This will force players to prioritize need over greed, but of course there's always exceptions to that rule. Who doesn't want the big gun over the fucking bottle of water? I like that, added the weight limits. I'm curious as whether that'll affect the player's movement as well as their sound levels, things like that. A lot of questions, but I guess we're just going to suppose, again, as always, wait until the beta, or at least they say something. Next to the weapon slots, you can also see armor slots. Though nothing has been mentioned, we could probably see some forms of armor, various clothing. Hopefully some novelty items would be cool. As there is a store feature with the War Z, but as I said, we'll just have to wait and see. Now, I also did previously mention settlements. Hammerpoint has stated that there would be a safe settlements, places where players can purchase, sell, and store items, as well as post notes for the players. Now, this is a very cool feature, bringing a meld of PvE, PvP environments, as these places, I can pretty much guarantee, will be havens for camping bandits. Though, with bandits in the War Z, there comes bounties, help requests, and even trap setting. I will go into the bounties, because I actually do know a little bit about the bounties, because they actually have said something. Now, bounties, basically, if a player kills you, or you're just pissed off at a player, pretty simple. You go to these said settlements, and you go to the board, and you go to the global board. And this isn't a global board for just the server you're on, or the region you're in. It's a global board for every War Z server in existence. So every player that plays War Z can see this bounty on said player, and revenge can be dealt on a massive scale. You can have entire servers dedicated to hunting this one little bastard down that killed you. I think that's pretty cool. Finally, you can get revenge on that prick who just sniped you. Or the guy that said he was friendly and ran around with you for like 4 hours and then got all this gear with you and then shot you in the back. It's going to be awesome. Bandits really do now have to think, before they shoot this person, are they prepared to deal with the consequences? Now, what else did they mention? Yes. Help requests and traps. I don't know what kind of... I'm taking traps in the literal sense of traps. You know, a freaking barb, spiky stick flips out from behind a tree, or you drop in a, spike pit kind of thing. I think that would be really cool. I can see it also being a pain in the ass. You can see, some of the best buildings in the game being completely surrounded by spike traps, so you can't access it. Kind of like DayZ, but not wire fences anymore. Players can actually take the whole bandit help request thing to a whole new level. Introducing groups dedicated to help requests, much like the DayZ medic guy. You posted on the forum saying you needed a blood bag, and he'd go to your server where you were and give you the blood bag. You could see bounty hunting groups emerge. What else? Medic groups emerge, help requests, stuff like that. But players can then twist it. Dedicated, a help request could really be a trap set for this group. Leak the location of a player on a server for a bounty hunting group, it could be a trap. Steal all their gear. The possibilities are endless. The degree Hammerpoint is taking the sandbox environment is simply unchallenged. I mean, the players are only limited by their imagination. So before you shoot someone, guys, just remember, you really need to stop and think. Are you prepared to deal with fucking bounty hunters on your ass? So moving on, the War Z, of course, comes with two modes of play. Normal and hardcore. Normal being your character actually persists through death. The only downside of that is you have a 24-hour character lockout period in which you can't play your character. Now, Hammerpoint has done this because in normal, if you don't lose your experience when you die, if your character remains, what motive do you have to not fear death? What's going to stop you from running around saying, I don't really give a shit, my character's still going to be there? That lockout period, that 24-hour lockout period is to reinforce that. But the stupid side of it is you keep your gear. They're trying to motivate you to say, if you want to play your character, don't die. I think the better motivator is, 24-hour period lockout works. And it's fine because there's multiple character slots for the War Z. You can go and play one of your other characters. But, I'm going to want to play my one-man character. Yeah, I could deal with it. Yeah, I don't actually really have a problem with it. I just think it'd be better, having a player lose all their equipment rather than a 24-hour lockout period. I mean, we bought the game to play the game. Stopping us from playing, a